So today we're going to talk about the 4 major flyways of North America: the Pacific, the Central, the Mississippi, and the Atlantic, and why they're important to waterfowl management and waterfowl hunting. So the first is, why do we have these flyways to begin with? Well, the one way to delineate them is by the birds themselves. These flyways provide food and resting as the birds migrate from their breeding grounds in the north to their wintering grounds in the south. And the birds naturally tend to follow these 4 main flyways. They allow them to avoid big physical barriers like mountain ranges and give the birds what they need as they migrate. Other way that these are defined is by man administratively. So about 70 years ago, we went in and defined these specific flyways so that we can better track population management and habitat management within the flyways to better serve the waterfowl and do a better job of managing the resource. So one thing to note is that waterfowl flyways cannot be sharply delineated. Waterfowl don't follow borders and interstates like humans do, especially in the northern parts of the breeding grounds. But once you get past about 45 degrees latitude, south of there, these birds sort of fall into their natural funnels, and biologically, the flyways start to really take shape. So let's take a look at the Pacific Flyway on the far western border of the continent. The Pacific is the largest flyway in North America. It stretches from the frigid waters of northern Alaska to the hot, sandy coast of western Mexico. It's home to 41 waterfowl species, including some of the continent's most rare diving ducks, and it covers roughly 2.4 million square miles. Next to that, we have the Central Flyway. From the tundra of northern Canada to the Gulf of Mexico, the Central Flyway is home to the most diverse habitat of all the flyways. Its prairie pothole region has long been one of the most important waterfowl breeding grounds in North America. 36 species call this one home, and it covers roughly 2.3 million square miles. Next is the Mississippi Flyway. Named after North America's largest river system, this flyway encompasses farmland stretching from Minnesota's land of 10,000 lakes to the fertile valleys of the Mississippi River Delta. It's comprised of almost exclusively dabbling ducks, with 38 species calling this one home and covering roughly 2.1 million square miles. And finally, we have the Atlantic Flyway. Rich in tradition and waterfowl hunting history, the Atlantic Flyway remains a mecca for die-hard waterfowl hunters. It's a delicate balance of urban areas and coastal refuges, holding a variety of both dabbling and diving ducks. 37 species call this one home, and it covers roughly 1.6 million square miles. So one thing that's important to note is the role that hunters play in each of these flyways. The management decisions that are made in each of these flyways by groups like the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Ducks Unlimited and nonprofit organizations, it really comes from hunters reporting banded birds, filling out surveys and observation data from when they're in the field. So don't underestimate the role that hunters play in managing these flyways and making waterfowl hunting better for everybody. All of this art and information is taken from my Waterfowl Flyways of North America poster. We also have a print on each one of these 4 flyways with all the species made up and a little bit more detail. So if you want some art for the wall that represents this information, check it out at ryankirby.com. I wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope that you have a little bit more appreciation after watching this video for the flyway that you hunt in.